In a game set roughly over the course of a week, you play as a girl who's been living in a shelter her entire life. The outside world is infected by a deadly disease. Society in chaos. Fortunately for you, your father is protecting you. This is the synopsis of the indie game developed by Nuhi Dev called My Eyes Deceive. A game that has been making the rounds on YouTube for the past couple of months. I did, however, want to cover the video myself, as it's an incredibly gut-wrenching piece of media that honestly did leave me speechless. Because there is so much more than meets the eye when it comes to uncovering the truth behind this truly horrifying piece of media. And it's why I don't recommend playing this game unless you are truly prepared to be disturbed. Released on May 25th, 2023, My Eyes Deceive Me listed on the game's itch.io page, including a list of some things that the game features, which includes a twisted, dark, and engaging narrative that gradually unravels itself over the course of the experience, an experience where you uncover and interpret the story as you play, the power of deciding the child's fate. Now, before we do begin, I do want to urge everyone to look at the description of this video at the list of disclaimers that I've included down there, as this game is one of the darker pieces of media that we have covered on this channel, so highly recommend looking at those disclaimers. Also, because I do need to pay my bills, we are going to be rolling into a sponsor real quick, but then we'll get straight into the video. Cold turkey may be great on sandwiches, but there's a better way to break your bad habits. And we're not talking about some weird mind control from your girlfriend's mom. We're talking about our sponsor Fume, and they look at the problem in a very different way. Not everything in a bad habit is so wrong, so instead of a drastic, uncomfortable change, why not just remove the bad from the habit? Fume is an innovative, award-winning flavored air device that does just that. Instead of electronics, Fume is completely natural. Instead of vapor, Fume uses flavored air, and instead of harmful chemicals, Fume uses all natural, delicious flavors. You get it, instead of bad, Fume is good. It's a habit you're free to enjoy and makes replacing your bad habit very easy. Your Fume comes with an adjustable airflow dial and is designed with movable parts and magnets for fidgeting, giving your fingers lots to do, which is helpful for de-stressing while breaking your habit. Base was launched in January. It's a weighted stand to rest your Fume on when it's not in use, with a magnet inside that keeps your Fume attached. The Fume device can be spun around on it, which is great for fidgeting. And you guys know Fume has been a longtime sponsor of the channel for a while now, and I'm always so pleasantly surprised at how great the flavors actually are. Stopping is something we all put off because it's hard, but switching to Fume is easy, enjoyable, and even fun. Fume has served over 150,000 customers and has thousands of success stories, and there's no reason that it can't be you. So join Fume in accelerating humanity's breakup from destructive habits by picking up the Journey Pack today. Head to tryfume.com/wowman or scan the QR code and use code WOWMAN to get 10% off when you get the Journey Pack today. That's tryfum.com and use code WOWMAN to save an additional 10% off on your order today. The game immediately opens up with a disclaimer that states, "The characters, storylines, and environments within the experience are fictional creations and should not be interpreted as representation of real-life situations or individuals." In the first day in-game, you wake up in this room completely alone, with your only task being to take your medicine, then washing them down with some water. The rooms are small even for a child. You're in some sort of bunker deep underground. Fortunately, there is food left for you on the table, and after your meal you are directed to take a shower. But after that, your only remaining task for the day is to wait for your father. And being confined to such a small space, you're extremely limited to the types of leisurely activities you can partake in. What you can do is water the plants, that is, the 2 plants that are present, play on your tablet, and pushing this small rocking horse, not even climbing on top of it. After a few minutes in game, however, you will be directed to talk to your father. The child walks up to the stairs to speak with her father through a small opening in the ceiling. The conversation proceeds as follows. "Hello, darling, are you here?" "Yes, Papa." "Will you come down today?" "No, honey, you really should know better. You could get infected." "Did you take your medicine?" "Yes. They're making me feel sleepy again." "Then you should probably go to bed. Can't you tell me a story from the outside? Please." "Okay, but I will keep it short. Today I saw a very scary creature. Upon seeing it, I felt immense terror. However, I managed to escape. and that's why you mustn't try to leave. I'd hate for them to find you. Thank you for protecting me. I'm very tired. I think I'll go to bed. Oh, before you go, I have something for you. A diary so you don't get bored. Thank you. No worries, my dear. Okay now, sleep well. See you, Papa. And after your conversation with your father, you're then directed to write inside of your diary. And the things the child begins to write is incredibly sad and hard to watch, really. In her first diary entry, she writes, "Today, Papa gave me this diary. I'm so happy he told me a story from the outside. It seems like a very scary place. You'll hear from me tomorrow." The child then heads to bed, her dreams allowing her to be free from the confines of her room. Because in the dream world, the child's room collapses, and all she can see is a flight of stairs leading to the hatch. The child dreams of being free. In the morning, if you can even call it that, Mary takes her medicine and washes it down with some water. We'll also be calling the protagonist of the game Mary just to avoid further confusion. This task is then followed by warming up the food that her father left her, and then taking a quick shower. And at this point, it is unknown how long the world has been brought into chaos, how long the apocalypse has been going on for, and perhaps most importantly, how long Mary has been trapped underground. Because for us, we've only got to witness day 1 and day 2. However, at least to me, it seems like she has a pretty strict routine going on, so it does make me believe that she's been down there for much longer. And this time, instead of watering the plants, I decided to pick up the tablet to pass the time, waiting for the arrival of Mary's father. I'm back. How are you feeling? I slept amazingly, even though I had a weird dream. Are you okay? I'm fine, don't worry. Did you take your pills today? Yes, I really have to take them every day. Of course, they're for your own good. They prevent you from getting infected. It's important that you take them. Okay, I will. Did you find something today? Yes, I managed to gather some food and other supplies. Did you run into another monster again? Unfortunately, yes, the world outside is a mess. Monsters are imitating human voices. If you hear anyone outside of me, do not make a sound. They mustn't find you. I'm scared, Papa. What if they make your voice? How do I know it's really you? Let's think of a password. How about apple? What is that? A sparse resource, a delicious type of food. If I manage to find you one, I'll give it to you. I'm excited. Aren't you tired yet? Now that you mention it, I should go to bed soon. Good idea, honey. Rest well. Good night, Papa. And with that, the day is over, and there's really only one thing left to do. For Mary to write in her diary. Today, Papa has told me about something called apple. He said it was very rare because the world outside is a mess. I'm scared of the outside. There are so many monsters. And something that I find incredibly fascinating about this game is how much you are left in the dark as the player. Because after playing for about 8 minutes, you go from the morning routine to writing in your diary before bed. And because you're underground, there is really no way to gauge how much time has passed, because there are no windows and not even a clock. So it really makes you start to question, is Mary really only awake for 8 minutes at a time before her medication kicks in, causing her to sleep? Because the only thing we can base time off of are the lights. However, those can easily be turned off and on at any moment. In Dream World, Mary has successfully climbed out of the hatch. With no knowledge of the outside world, her mind fills in the gaps with abstract lights. A world in chaos, as described to her by her father. She wanders this incomprehensible space until something appears in front of her. Mary rises from her slumber only to repeat the same routine which has haunted her for days. Take the medicine, drink the water, prepare some food. Where is the food? Your father didn't bring you food today. Mary is left without a meal. There are, however, some bits of food left under the cupboard, so the routine can still continue. You take a shower and wait for your father. But something is wrong. You've been playing this game for too long. Where is your father? Why didn't he leave you food? A million thoughts beginning to race through Mary's head at this point, worried that her father could have potentially been eaten by a monster from the outside world, and as a last resort, she begins to call for him, even though she was specifically told not to. Papa, are you here? Where are you? I'm scared. Hello. He didn't come today. And after a while of calling for her father, she begins to figure that he won't be visiting today, and goes to complete her final task. Today, Papa didn't come home. I was all alone and scared. I hope he comes back tomorrow. I hate it when I'm alone. Where is Papa? And from this diary entry with her saying, I hate it when I'm alone, we can pretty much figure that this isn't the first time that Mary has been left alone for a day. In Dreamworld, however, there is still much to explore, and as Mary explores these dark corridors, they resemble the ones she crosses every day. These, however, are more intricate and have passageways that end abruptly. She spends most of her nights, if not most of her life, in the dream world. Her dreams are beginning to evolve, exploring the inner desires in her mind that are dormant during her waking hours, most likely as a result of so much medication that she is taking. Mary sees the staircase once again, however is unable to climb them. All they are props taunting her, much like the staircase in her room. It's always there, but she can never fully climb out of the room. And with no way to climb these stairs, she jumps down a hole. The day begins and it's now day 6, which is odd considering that last night was only day 3, which leaves you to wonder if there was a time jump or has Mary been asleep for days. Regardless, she takes her medicine, drinks some water, but again there is no food left for Mary, so she's forced to eat whatever is under the cupboard once again. The routine must continue. She showers and spends some more time playing the only game on the tablet. And after completing every level in this little game, her father is still gone. After going through every single activity, there is nothing to do in the room, and he is still gone. And so you're left just to pace the room, anticipating his arrival. This anticipation, however, quickly turns into panic as Mary's vision becomes blurry. Going to the hatch and calling for him is no use. The door is locked shut as well, so there is no way that Mary could possibly leave on her own. And it is at this point in the story where the path splits and the player is left with a choice. Because in Mary's diary entry, she states, "If Papa is not coming home, do I need to take my medicine? I mean, all they do is prevent infection and make you tired. But if you're trapped down here, what could possibly infect you?" Now we will be going through both alternatives in this video. However, I do want to start with Mary beginning to stop taking her medicine. He's still not coming. It's been 4 days now. The pill makes me tired. If he's not coming, do I even have to take them? No, I won't take them anymore. And with this choice, you enter Dreamworld once more and are presented with a chain linked to an anchor. And as you continue exploring, there are even more chains. With each that you destroy, a message appearing. You should trust Papa. And finally, is it worth it? In the morning, Mary neglects to take her medication, drinks some water, and prepares the food that is left for her on the counter. Alongside the food, however, there is a trophy this time around, an item that has never been present before. And with this, Mary is hopeful that her father has finally returned. After showering, all you can do is wait. And then the hatch opens. Papa? Hey, sweetie, you're back. Yes, princess, I'm back. Wait, what's the password? Apple. It's actually you. Where did you go? I'm sorry, something urgent came up, and I had to leave for a couple of days. It won't happen again. Promise? Promise. How have you been? Have you been taking your medicine? I've been alright. Had to eat some leftovers though, but that wasn't a problem at all. What about your medicine? Yes, of course I took them. I'm glad to hear. Also, as an apology, I brought you something. What is it? This is an apple, so that's what it looks like. Try eating it soon. They're best when they're fresh. I'll try it later. Already feeling tired? Yes, a bit. That's good. Head to bed then, honey. Sweet dreams. See you tomorrow. Mary makes her way over to the kitchen to try the apple. Wow, it's so sweet and juicy. And the following command is to pretend to fall asleep. Mary gets in bed and pretends to sleep, upon which we then hear the hatch opening up. And for the following, I do want to put another disclaimer right here, so timestamp here if you do want to skip it, as it does involve SA. Obviously nothing is shown, but it is heavily implied, although it stops before anything happens, so timestamp here if you do want to skip it. When Mary's father makes his way downstairs, he asks if Mary is awake, but she is pretending, so she doesn't answer. And then Mary's father says this. But this is interrupted by a doorbell. Mary opens her eyes and knows that the hatch was left open, so she gets up and begins her escape. Down this corridor, it's evident that Mary was deep underground in some sort of basement. She approaches a desk and finds a receipt that states the following: Vitally RX Pharmacy. Purchases 5 sedatives. What are sedatives? A police report is taped to the wall that says, Spontaneous house inspection taken to the police department due to suspicious purchases. Conclusion, no substantial evidence found. Case will be closed. Mary continues to wander the rest of the building in hopes of escaping, something she's dreamed about. And Mary makes her way to the outside world for the first time in who knows how long. The last thing she says is, "What is that glowing ball up there? And why does it hurt my eyes?" This ending leaving us with a gut-wrenching realization that there was no apocalypse, there were no voice-imitating entities, and the world never collapsed. All that we're left with is the true monster that kept Mary underground by keeping her sedated and oblivious. But at least in this case, she was able to escape, a fate she would not share if you chose to remain on medication. And another warning here as well, because this ending is 10 times darker. So if you decide to trust your father and continue taking your medication, even after you have been left alone for days, you branch into this separate timeline, one that follows an extremely morbid theme. Because on choosing to remain on your medicine, her dreams tell a very different story. Mary's dream consists of the room she spends her entire life in, and she soon finds that the hatch is open. However, on entering the opening, she's brought back into her bedroom. However, what is different is that there are now chains lining the walls of the room. With each cycle that she goes through, more begin to appear. The chains representing her inability to ever leave this place if she continues to trust in her father. Mary rises from bed and starts her routine. Medicine, water, food, shower, wait for father. When he finally arrives, not much is different this time around. He apologizes for being absent and brings you an apple. But this time Mary willingly tells him that she's been taking her medicine as opposed to lying about it as she did in the other timeline. And Mary's final diary entry reads, "Today Papa came back. I'm very happy and he also brought me an apple. I didn't think that it would be so tasty. I hope he can bring me some more." But here's where things really differentiate themselves from the other ending. Mary's vision is blurry and she's slower than normal, most likely from a lack of sun and malnourishment, as she does only get to eat once a day, since she's sleeping for most of the day, and her father only brings her one meal a day. And when her father finally arrives, this happens. This game is incredibly dark in every way possible. The lies and deception that were used to take advantage of Mary are truly evil, because quite literally everything was a lie. Mary's father most likely not even being her real dad. There was truly nothing to fear from the outside world, other than the man upstairs. Huge thank you to all of my channel members and my ultimate tiers: Kareem Ariano, Dreadator, Alejandro from the Tower, K-Pop Lover X3, and Knight98.